Are you going to be able to visit him in the new jail, or were you able to? You will.
Yeah. They allow conjugal visits at this facility, but at his previous one they didn't. So
That's a major development for the two of you. The fact that you can
yeah,
have
100%.
a conjugal visit with your husband, because it's been how long since you've seen him in that way?
Over a year and a half, almost 2 years actually. Yeah, it's getting close to it.
I mean, I know we're in a weird time now where people can sort of empathize with the idea that they haven't touched someone in 3 weeks, but for you, it's been over a year and a half where you haven't touched your husband. So I imagine you're quite excited about the idea of.
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, I miss Joe, and it sucks not being able to touch him, but still being able to talk to him. You know, that's really what has kept us going strong, and you know, that's really all we can look forward to at this point. You know, other than the fact that he may get pardoned and he may not, but really the main goal is to get his sentence lessened if he can't get out of jail immediately. You know what I mean?
I do. Do you have any idea when you might have that first conjugal visit when you guys will be able to meet up together?
So once I hear from him, he'll be able to give me details on the visitation. He has to put me on a list, and then it has to be, cleared, and then this and that. So it's a whole process. It's not just like an overnight kind of thing. So it could be, within the next month. Who knows?
Do you remember specifically the last day you two had together and what you did on that day?
Yeah, so we woke up and we had breakfast. He played with the dogs for a little bit, and then he was like, okay, I'm going to go to the hospital. It was kind of early in the afternoon, and he's like, okay, I'm going to go to the hospital and, put in this, what's it called, resume. Give him my resume. I was like, okay, I'm going to go to the gym. So I'm at the gym, and I get the call, and he's like, oh, I'm in the back of a police car right now, a U.S. Marshal. I'm like, oh, well, that's weird, like, why? He's like, they won't tell me. So then, I get there to go pick up his truck, and the marshal wouldn't even tell me, what was going on. He couldn't give me details. So then I find out later that day at the mediation exactly what had happened, and I was completely mind blown because I was not expecting anything like that.
Were you able to give him a hug or a kiss or anything to say goodbye? So it hasn't been since the day you left for the gym, and he went to the hospital.
Yeah.
Oh, Dillon, I'm sorry that doesn't mean process.
I appreciate that, and yeah, I mean, it's something that I've kind of gotten used to. Not necessarily looking for anybody to fill that void. So when Joe gets out or when I can see him, it's going to be a really good day.
Yeah, and you talk about that, but we've seen him in unconventional relationships before. Have you two agreed or even discussed opening the relationship, or has it been a strictly we're not going to see other people?
So we've had the conversation. He's like, I don't want you to be alone. Like, I know how hard it is, and I'm just like, I don't need anybody to do that right now. I'm kind of focusing on me and what life has to throw at me, because I've been through a lot. I'm only 24 years old. Nobody ever would have expected that this would happen, or that my life would be this way. But he said, if you ever find somebody that is important to you and you think that you need to move on, I'd be okay with letting you do that. And so even if it did come to that and I did find somebody and I moved on, I wouldn't just stop talking to Joe. He'd still be a part of my daily life.
He's not worried about the attention that's coming with the show that maybe you're getting to, or that's not even on his radar?
So his best friend, Anne, she's like a grandma to me. I call her grandma. She said, she got to talk to him while he was in there too. And what he's really worried about is like backlash coming on me. But I mean, I'm pretty strong for a 24-year-old. I'm not I don't look twice or think twice about the things people have to say, because at the end of the day, it's still my life and I'm going to be doing the things that I do. If you don't agree with it, you don't agree. If you do, then kudos. Glad to have you here,
Does Joe feel safe and protected in the facilities he's been in?
So a few times in Grady County, he was kind of, how he described it, like abused, like thrown around a few times by like the guards, not necessarily in other inmates, because he's been super cool with his other inmates and actually making friends. It's weird to say you're making friends in jail, but he did it. And here I'm sure it's going to be a lot better. He's got his autoimmune disease, so he's going to be taken care of way better and not mistreated, hopefully. So we're just going to stay positive that he stays healthy and strong.
Oh, please, Dillon. Are you surprised that he's making friends in jail?
Not in the slightest. No. He's a well outspoken individual, so definitely making the most out of the situation he was handed.
What's going on with his appeal right now? Can you speak to that a bit?
I have, not sure. It could take up to a year, a little more than a year. Who knows at this point? They're still building the case because he has a new lawyer for that. So they have to go over every single aspect of the case. And, as they're doing that, we're just doing our best to stay optimistic.
I'm sure that's also something Netflix would be quite interested in documenting as well.
Probably, but I haven't heard from them, so.
You saw the news that Trump is considering, said he would consider pardoning.
Yeah, he said he would look at it. He kind of blew it off as a joke, in my opinion, which is a little unfair because to me it's like very personal. It's a whole situation. He was like, "Oh, what do you think? Oh, you can't answer that. Oh, what do you think? Oh, you can't answer that." And he's like, "I'll take a look at it." Switches conversation, So, I mean, we'll see what happens. You can fingers crossed that, he does look at it and he takes the time to really dig into it, maybe watch the show because he said he hadn't. But yeah, it's up in the air, really.
Is Joe even aware that it's on the president's radar?
Not that I know of. I haven't spoken to him since it was, put out there. But I'm sure he's ecstatic. The freaking president said Joe Exotic.
Joe went away at 57 and he has a 22-year sentence. Is there the chance, as a lawyer said, is there a chance he'll get out early for good behavior, or are you looking at not seeing him until he comes out and is 79?
So he got arrested at 55 actually.
Okay.
And no, he's 56. My bad.
He's 56 now?
He's 57. He was arrested when he was 56.
Okay.
And, there's a chance that he could get a lesser sentence, and that's what we're hoping for. But, it's really up to the legal system to figure all that out. If he is 78, 79 by the time he gets out, then, I'll still be there to support him. And in the end, that's all that matters.